YouTube. It is I, Sakarma, here with John Ton.
Hey, yeah.
And we're here with our faction focus review for the Greenskins. That's right.
It's
The
wow.
Wah! That's right. So this is number 3 for us, yeah? Empire, Bretonia. No, High Elves 4.
High Elves 4.
So fourth for us, yeah, on our Road of Trials. Again, this is just it's a series that John Ton and I have undertaken where we play each faction for a week, play 30 upwards of 30 games, try them out, see what they're like from a competitive multiplayer perspective. What we don't like, we offer some balance changes. You guys know the drill. Anyways, with that said, let's get into the faction overview. So it is the Wah. In fact, Greenskins my favorite faction, near and dear to my heart because they're silly and I like them. So they're a face smash faction, generally speaking. I mean, you can play different ways with them, but a lot of the time you're just going to make a big old infantry line and charge into their infantry line and, just put them down.
Works.
Oh, it works very well. They're easy to play. They're fun to play. They're a click and forget type faction. If you mess up with a unit or two, it's not very punishing because nothing on their roster is particularly expensive unless you bring like big monsters. They have a lot of versatility, a lot of different builds they can bring. They have gobos, which I would consider their own sub faction if you play them flavorfully.
Much.
A lot you can bring with them.
Definitely.
And what would you say about them, John?
I would say they very much indeed do embody their faction flavor there. Just go forward, kill everything. Grimgor's the best.
Grimgor's the best, but that's
Red makes it faster.
Red does make you faster. All right. With that out of the way, they are very much flavorful. But in that out of the way, let's get into their strengths, John. What do you think about their strengths?
Best infantry, hands down. One of the reasons is the Wah. So the Wah got changed a couple patches ago, and now it's a map-wide thing.
Right.
Affects everybody, and it's pretty beastly. Plus 24 melee attack, plus 24% speed. Another buff in there somewhere, which I think is either maybe to vigor or
I'll tell you.
charge.
Quite certain.
Charge or
It's definitely charge, but yeah.
I would
Charge
expect it to
speed.
be charged. That would
Yeah.
make sense. Anyway, that buff of theirs helps them a lot. And there is a little bit of counterplaying in the WOG. You can try to bait it out sometimes, but if they get a good WOG off, it's hard to recover.
Yeah.
It's doable though. It's doable.
Sure.
Besides that, to mesh with their WOG is their fantastic infantry. So the Greenskins are definitely an infantry faction. It's where they excel, and they have a ton of choices of infantry. So they have Biggins, which are good general all-around, anti-everything units.
I'd argue
basically.
one of the best infantry units in the game for sure.
They have anti-large. They have a little bit of armor, so yeah, they can be pretty.
They
good.
hit
Black
hard.
Orcs.
They have good melee
Oh, yeah.
attack.
Oh yeah, and the anti-large really makes them quite versatile. Moving on to Black Orcs. So Black Orcs, very tanky. They can output a lot of damage, especially when combined with the Wah, which is true of any of the troops that we're going to talk
Yeah,
about. Really.
basically.
But the tried and true Black Orcs, everyone loves them. Just the sheer damage output on Savages and Nasty Skulkers are amazing for the cost. They have the smoke bombs. Gobos have poison, silver shields, good fodder, lots of models. Every single infantry unit is really useful. Even the regular Gobos have the silver shields, so they're cheap and they can go very wide.
Yeah, and the regiments of renown are quite good as well. Warlords Boys, AP Loonies, very good units to throw in there. Yeah, for sure. I agree 100% with John. They have the best infantry in the game, and that is complemented by really good magic. I mean, they have unique magic, of course, the little Wah and the big Wah. The big Wah and the little Wah. Because they're Greenskins, no one else is gonna have that kind of magic. So the little Wah is full of great debuffs, very cheap spells. I mean, I rarely run out of magic when I bring a Goblin Shaman. So you can just cast spells all game, quite nice, and they can also delay recharge with that magic mushroom thing. Yeah, very good little guy. And then the big Wah, you have the Foot of Gork, which is amazing at just destroying high value cav units. You have Fists of Gork, which give magic damage, which is something they need because no unit on their roster deals magic damage. It gives them really good buffs for melee attack and melee defense, and yeah, just a lot of different good synergy there. A lot of ways to, and of course, Here We Go, which just buffs everything around them, and a lot of good spells. Very cheap. You can cast them all game long. Very good magic.
Absolutely, Greenskins, and it's very Greenskin as well. So I love the aesthetic. I love the. They really stuck to.
They do look cool.
Greenskins lore.
Like when the Foot of Gore comes down, it is fun. That's a fun spell to cast.
Moving on to the lords, we have Wurzag, just a top tier lord. He's
100%.
very versatile. He can be a little bit squishy sometimes and he's slow, but besides those two things, he has some amazing magic and abilities. With Squiggly Beast and FG to get for the Gork, he's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Azak is also a very good lord. He's pretty unique on there's only 2 flying lords on the Greenskin roster, and he has death magic, which makes him pretty unique, so really like an Azak as well.
Yeah, he's definitely a good pick. I would just add on to Wurzag that not only is he a great caster, he's arguably the best duelist on the Greenskin roster, because only Grimgor as a lord can really fight, and Grimgor's super slow, so he'll never catch anything. So Wurzag's got a little bit of speed, he's got that armor piercing, you can buff him up with Fists of Gork. Very, very good lord. Top tier for sure.
Definitely.
With that being said, we're going to go on to the versatility here. So, the Greenskins, I mean, we've said this a lot of different factions. I mean, we've said High Elves are versatile and Empire, and Greenskins are versatile, but I would say a level below them. So they can go kitey with a lot of different ranged skirmishing units, like Wolf-Garden Riders, Goblin Rider Riders. Oh, I'm pronouncing this all incorrectly, but you know what I mean. They can go monsters, they have trolls, they have spiders, they have ranged with the Rusty Arrows and Arrow Boys. They have artillery, which can be quite effective and pretty cheap. Or then go infantry heavy. A lot of different builds they can bring. So very, very versatile faction. The only thing they lack really is Cav and Air Force, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Right. And with that out of the way, let's move on to their weaknesses. Now, the biggest weakness of the Greenskin is the fear and terror.
Yes, sir.
Any faction that has a lot of fear and terror, and especially if they're the undead factions, which their normal infantry cost fear, that's going to be really tough for Greenskins. Terror routing, especially in Game 1, way back when, destroy whole armies basically by itself.
Griffin charges, Boris.
Yeah. Single entity units that cause terror can get out and have mobility. Super powerful.
And it's also worth noting. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's worth noting that they also don't, like we said, they don't really have a counter to magic. No unit on the Greenskin roster does magic damage unless you give them Fist of Gork. So it's very difficult to deal with ethereal units like the Green Knight or the Green Knight or Banshees or anything along those lines can be very difficult to deal with as Greenskins.
Indeed.
With that out of the way, speaking of Banshees, though, Lord Sniping is a big deal for Greenskins because, of course, they cannot heal. They have no access to healing, and their Lords are, for the most part, squishy. Even Grimgor, with his high armor, has pretty low melee defense and only has about less than 4,000 health, so you can Spirit Leech him all day long, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Yeah, Lord Sniping is a very viable option against Greenskins. Wood Elves also have that ability, because there's no Air Force on the Greenskins, and they have pretty low-ranged... They have low-ranged archers, and they don't have any way to take out single entities with their artillery. It means you can just fly up and just start sniping their lord all game, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it, which is very frustrating.
Yep. Can definitely be done. So, and those two in combination can be really, really nasty.
Right.
But moving on from that, we also got the fact. Another weakness they have is they are very lacking in Cav and Air Force. Of course, they pretty much don't have an Air Force at all, with only Wurzag and the
War Boss.
Orc War Boss being up there. But considering their low range and what Sakarma just talked about, the low range on the archers, as well as nothing like cannons to be able to shoot things out of the sky, it can be pretty tough for them.
Dicey, very dicey.
Definitely a weakness. Another weakness is their Cav. It's very expensive for what it can do. So now this is a weakness. You can definitely call it a weakness, but I wouldn't say it's something that particularly needs to be changed.
No,
because it's very Greenskin. They're not known for their Cav. Those are boars, not horses or anything like that. So their Cav, they can do some good damage, but they are kind of squishy, to be quite honest. And Fear and Terror absolutely wreck them. Boars are very scared.
And their stats are awful, like low 20s. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Their stats are really terrible. So even basic spearmen will fuck them up. Yeah, so that's the weaknesses. We still think they're a very strong faction, but of course, pardon me, there are some balancing changes we get in there, and I think the first one is the Wa. So John and I both agree with this, but John, why don't you talk about it a little bit more?
Yeah. So the Wa, we think it needs to be changed. It got changed to a global effect, which we think is fantastic. We even love the little visual thing it gives us. I like how that looks. But it's maybe a little bit too strong. I felt during all the Greenskins games we played, it was just the infantry were just too dominant almost all the time.
Agreed.
Like it wasn't even fair for the opponent's infantry. So
yeah,
we think that should have a slight nerf. Maybe right now I think the melee attack is like 24. Maybe hit that down to 16. I think would be much better.
Yep.
Of course, it should still only recharge in melee.
Yeah, agreed
But
too.
if that change was made to it, we think it'd still be good. Definitely still worth casting, but not as good as it is right now. Because it can also be combined with Warzagg's Squiggly Staff, and it can be pretty crazy.
Yeah, Warzag. We didn't really touch on this, but Warzag with his the Bonewood Staff. Is it Squiggly Staff or Bonewood Staff?
You're the Bonewood.
Bonewood Staff. Yeah, that's right. But anyways, with the Bonewood Staff, which gives buffs to melee whenever he casts, and then you already have buffs from casting when you cast things like Fist of Gork and Here We Go, and then you have the Wah, and it just gets ridiculous. You're getting nasty skulkers running around with like 50 plus melee attack the whole game with armor piercing. It's just silly. So it makes them too good, I would argue, a little bit too good. But here's a balancing thing they need, I think. And John and I went back and forth on this, and really it's how do you deal with super fast, hard-hitting cav like Wild Riders and Doomfire Warlocks. Those things are almost impossible to deal with as Greenskins if you're facing a player who knows what they're doing.
So hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult because they're super fast, they hit like trucks, and they get out before you can do anything. And your fastest units are, Goblin Wolf Riders, Goblin Wolf Riders and Goblin Spider Riders, and they'll get wrecked in seconds against those guys. So you're really fighting an uphill battle, trying to slow them down, trying to stop them, and it's very difficult for Greenskins to counter them. So my fix, well, it's really Gorka's fix. I think the Gork will fix it spell should slow them instead of 24% to like 48%. Really put them, put the brakes on them so you can actually catch them and chop them down. That would be a spell that could actually, it's already useful, but that could make it even more useful. Maybe up the magic a bit, but just a way to slow down their super fast cav, because those are really two hard counters to Greenskins that are difficult to play against. I'm open to other suggestions, of course, but that was the one I sort of dreamt up.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure about it because, well, the more that you say it, maybe it wouldn't be so bad if it was 48%. That definitely would help them against some factions. But you also got to consider, like, what if you're Empire and they already have slow cav? You don't have, well, at 24%, they probably don't have a chance anyway.
They won't get around anyways, right? They'll be at like 50-something. And you can...
I don't know if I would call it an AoE, but I'm fine with it if it was 48% on a single target, maybe in AoE. Not sure. We'd have to
try it out. I mean, that's my... And even then, that's not a good solution, I don't think, because that means you have to bring a certain type of unit to counter. I just think they need something along those lines, because otherwise... it's similar to the magic damage, right? I think they should have one unit that does magic damage, just because otherwise you have to bring Fist of Gork when you fight vampires. You really don't have a choice, because if you don't and they bring ethereals, it's game over.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's difficult stuff like that. But in any case, let's move on to one that's near and dear to my heart, Grimgor. That is a balance change that needs to be implemented. He should be, but he is not. I am not. I did not hit her, Lisa. I did not. Anyways, Grimgor needs to be better. John and I have like a million different ways to make him better. We both think it would be the simplest thing to improve Grimgor. So I think the things we agreed on that he needs is more mass, more health. Those are two things we definitely think he needs. John suggested, well, what do you take away about your AoE buffs, John?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could give some AoE buffs for actually Black Orcs. Make Grimgor actually unique and give him a buff that only applies to Black Orcs.
That'd be cool.
Now, that would make him overall not as good a choice still, but it would make him interesting.
Yeah.
And definitely give him a role.
Depends what the buffs were, right?
Yeah. What buffs? What are you talking about?
If what the AoE buffs did, I mean, like depending on what the AoE buffs did for the Black Orcs. Like if they were really good, then you'd bring Grimgor.
Yeah. True. Yeah. If you want to go with a Black Orc line, that could be. It's already, I guess, a way of doing it, but you could just make it really cool. Or you could just give some weaker general buffs to everybody.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys you want in the front line, and since he doesn't have mobility, I say give him some buffs. Some AoE buffs.
Personally, I think he should just be like a melee, like a infantry killer. Like you have a lot of different units that are single entity killers or monster stuff or whatever. I think he should be the first melee lord who's on foot that just wrecks other melee units. Like you throw him against swordmasters, he just starts cutting them down. I think that'd be very cool. You can make it more expensive, of course, to compensate, but just give him a lot of splash damage because he's already semi-viable because of the way WoW works. That you can just throw Grimgor in there and you don't have to worry about him. Whereas you can't do that with pretty much any other lord because they're squishier than him. So he is already he already has a little bit of a niche rather, but just a little bit more, and I can push him into a competitive Lord standpoint for sure. And we're fine with him getting a cost increase and all that to make this more reasonable. But yeah, you should have a Mega Wah, a million different things.
Alrighty then. Next, we're going to go on to the Crimson Killers.
Yes.
Weird unit.
Yeah, really weird.
They have low health. They're very expensive. Sure, they do a lot of damage, but
easy to kill. So easy to kill. So easy to deal with.
What we were thinking about, so nobody brings them because, I mean, you can
they're bad.
Use artillery on them. You can use Versatility on them. They're just too expensive and don't do the damage. What we were thinking is maybe give them some health. Maybe Guardian. Make it combo with Grimgore really well. That'd be really cool. They could definitely give them some abilities or something to make them more interesting.
Yeah, for sure, agreed. I mean, they're the only unit I can think of that you pay more and you get less health. It's very strange. But in that case, let's move on to Little Wishes. So John didn't have a Little Wish. My Little Wish was just Grimgore. Should be better. I mean, it's it's imbalancing, but it's also my wish. And with that, I mean, so that speaks to how we think the Greenskins are in a good place right now. The fact that we don't really have any Little Wishes.
Right. Yeah, so the balancing is pretty good overall. But let's go ahead and get into matchups. So, Wood Elves, bad. Very bad. Not good for the Greenskins at all.
No.
Just their ability to have a lot in the air. They can snipe your Lord, just pick off all your important stuff, and then write down all the low morale stuff with Wild Riders. We had it happen on stream against the Mighty Bulls of Lasky, and it just wasn't even close. Yeah,
a lot of different things they can bring. Flyers, kiting, very difficult. Empire is, I mean, I'm hesitant to say even. It's can go either way. So if Empire brings a very kitey Cav build, difficult for Greenskins. If they bring a traditional build with a lot of infantry, easy for Greenskins. So it depends on how they go. So it's very much a matchup specific type thing.
Definitely. As far as the Beastmen go, though, we would say pretty even.
Yeah,
even.
They both have tools.
Yeah, to deal with each other. Vampires, though, terrible, absolutely terrible. Probably, would you say Vampires is worse or better than? Probably better than Wood Elves.
I would rather fight in the 3 worst matchups. With Tomb Kings are in there. I'd rather fight the Vampires the least, then the Wood Elves, then the Tomb Kings, personally.
Right.
I can't stand Vampires.
Yeah, I can see that.
And if they have Manfred and they fly around and they just Spirit Leech you the whole game, I lose my shit.
Or they can even bring Vlad and just not be able to hit him the entire game.
Yeah, they can bring Vlad, sit him there. And then the Mortis engine is so hard to deal with, especially if they get rid of your Rusty Errors. It's just silly sometimes. So, yeah, not a fan. Moving on, High Elves, pretty even. They both have a lot of tools. Of course, the Greenskins will win the infantry engagement, but High Elves have Cav. Of course, you have Wurzag with the Foot of Gorg, so there's different options on both sides.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of different things that can go either way there.
Yeah, and on to Dark Elves. Dark Elves, we would say this is definitely bad. It's definitely better now that the Global Wall is a thing.
For sure.
But the Dark Elves, they can just bring Witch Elves, Chariots, Doomfire Warlocks. They're just very powerful.
Yeah, Dragons, Malekith with his Gaze of Malice, he can just wipe out your Rusty Errors. Scary. Indeed. Brett, pretty even. Cav is a weakness of Greenskins, Brett is Cav, but Greenskins do have some answers, which is the fact that their infantry is so much better, for sure.
Indeed. On Dwarves, we would say it's pretty even. I mean, Greenskins have Chariots, Armor Piercing, they even have Stalked Armor Piercing, so yeah, pretty even.
Agreed. Moving on to Chaos, as is a theme, bad. Pretty much everyone has a bad matchup with Chaos. It's just tough to beat them. They're just the large entities are just so scary to Greenskins, and of course Fate of Buna.
Easy to play factions.
Yeah, Chaos. Yeah, that is the true fucking noob faction. Anyways, yeah, Chaos, bad.
Lizardmen, I'd say it's probably even.
Even.
They can do it.
I would say a slight advantage towards Lizardmen, but not an extreme. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, slight makes sense to me.
Yeah, not like crazy, but I think, single entities are tough for Greenskins at times, and they definitely have some abilities to, Lizards can't bring a lot of single entities. Norska, I'd give the advantage to Greenskins pretty heavily. Their infantry's just better, and then, of course, Biggins just beat everything on the Norska roster, so it's tough for Norska.
They can just face smash through that one easy.
Yeah.
Skaven. Now,
yeah.
I didn't get to fight Skaven much. On paper, I would think they're pretty good, but honestly, we both thought we didn't play this matchup enough to really No one plays Skaven on ladder. We've noticed
No.
throughout these weeks.
No one does. I don't know
No one
why.
plays Skaven. Except us now.
Except us, yeah. If you see the only people playing is John, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, we couldn't really, yeah.
I would figure they're good on them with all the fear and terror and stuff to muck things up, but can't really say.
Hard to say. And then Tomb Kings also is, I mean, I'd say bad, but like close bad. It's almost even with advantage Tomb Kings. It's not terrible, I wouldn't say.
The Tomb King's ability to snipe things from range is
That's true.
why makes it pretty crazy.
But Biggins beat everything on the Tomb Kings, which is good, except for the constructs and all that. So, but yeah, it is still a bad matchup. So with that all said, let's go into the conclusion here. So why don't you start off, John? And I'll finish up.
It is a tier 2 faction.
Mm-hmm.
High
Upper
tier,
tier,
yeah. Say.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a high tier 2 faction. They're in a very good place. They're a lot of fun to play. Different builds. Skarma loves his gobos and all that jazz.
Oh, I love my gobos.
You can do all kinds of things. Just today, I fought a build with 5 trolls, 5 goblin wolf archers, and then goblins and orc boys. Yeah. So they're very, very interesting faction. A lot of fun. Ton of fun.
Ton of fun. Very strong. I agree 100%. They're flavorful. Gobos are near and dear to my heart. We didn't even talk about them, but I think you can bring competitive gobbo builds. 100% they are competitive, especially with the new global WoW. With Chevron, if you Chevron them up, I mean, there's a lot you can do with Gobos. I've had a lot of success with them on ladder. Yeah, so Gobos are very fun. Greenskins are very fun. Their flavor is cool. They're a unique faction. I think they're the only really infantry-heavy faction in the game. Yeah.
Skaven too, and dwarfs.
Skaven have like doom bells and all that, and well, dwarfs of course. Yeah, okay, different story. Dwarves, but dwarfs are also artillery focused. I don't know. Greenskins. Okay, well, they're unique. I think they're unique, and they definitely infantry focus is fun. And you know what I also like about Greenskins is that there's not a lot of like cheesy seeming units. There's no unit on the Greenskins where it's like, oh man, he brought this thing. Fuck this guy.
That's true.
You know,
that's pretty much true. There's no unit that you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, this thing again.
Bitch.
Yeah, like there's weird Greenskin builds, but I've never seen a build where I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to play this one. You know, like I've enjoyed every Greenskin fight I've had. So they're a very, very well balanced faction. They're up there with High Elves, I think, is some of the best balanced factions in the game so far before we played. Very, very well balanced. And in that, we have completed our Greenskin faction review. The WoW is over. Now we're on to the Under Empire, the Skaven, and following that, I don't know. I think it might be Lizardmen or Dwarves or who knows. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you around the bend.
See you guys.